I'm going to share something with you about this case, and I'm going to share a video with you too, what's happening inside the jail, to just show you the kind of special treatment this guy is getting. The insanity. It's to me, it's signs that there's corruption behind the scenes. Because what his lawyers have asked for, when you see lawyers asking for something from a judge that's never been asked for before, never in history of our country has ever been granted, you know that something very, very suspicious is going on behind the scenes. So the judge he has granted some very peculiar things, such as like in jail, they will take correspondence if there's criminal acts in the correspondence. But he said, well, I was writing my lawyer, so, that's protected correspondence. But he was plotting crimes. And so the judge is like, you can't use that. You can let him write criminal acts in writing, and you can't use it against him. You can't charge him for crimes with that correspondence. That's insanity. But listen to this. They want to take the jail to his house because it's so uncomfortable in jail. No, this has never been asked before. You show me a case where this has ever been asked for before. Look at this. Check this out. The fact that this judge is even hearing these arguments to consider whether or not he will do this tells you that somebody is getting paid behind the scenes. This is what they asked for, and the judge is actually considering. Okay, they shouldn't even be allowed to ask for this, but this is what he's done. Okay, so they want to know whether or not A, he could be released on bail, or 2, he should be kept under house arrest at a home, which normally house arrest is a very common thing, but you like wear an ankle bracelet or something like that, and you check in, and But they want him to have around the clock security at an apartment on Manhattan's Upper East Side. He wants his jail with staff literally around the clock in a 3-bedroom apartment in Manhattan's Upper East Side. Do you know how insane that is? If somebody's not safe enough to be out on bail, then you keep them in jail. But instead, they're literally wanting them to take taxpayers' money and take staff members of a jail and send them to a house to work at, because it would be more comfortable for him there. This is how crazy it is. Now let me show you a little clip of what's happening inside the jail. Okay, this is incredible. It may seem like to some that this is nothing, but this isn't a video called Criminal Corner. I don't know that it appears to be a legitimate video, okay? But if this is a legitimate video, this is frightening, because look at this. This may not seem like anything to you, but check this out, right? What you just saw is abnormal, okay? So this is like clips from this video. But look at this. This officer is literally, here's what happens. Go and find any video of anywhere in the United States of America where inmates are being served their meal. The inmate is at the door, they get up, they go to the door, and they receive the meal handed to them. This may seem like you don't see anything wrong here, or it's trivial, or maybe this is what they do in jail. But find me a video anywhere on the internet where they're feeding the inmates and they act like they're servants. And this, you've got one guy here holding the door, okay? You see his hand right here? He's holding the door. This guy walks into his cell while he's sitting on his bed writing, as if this guy is some servant in his house. Here's your dinner, sir. It's just like, it's insanity. This is not how it works. It's not how it works, guys. That's not how it works, I'm telling you. Just find me a video. Just look at the videos of any like documentaries or whatever where they show jails and prisons. And when they serve meals, the inmate goes to the door and they get their meal. But that's not what's happening in this case. No. They're demanding, first of all, there was some communication that allegedly the officers took it from his cell, and there was a plot to tamper with witnesses. And this judge says that you can't use that. So, okay, let me think of it like this. If an inmate is sitting there and he's writing, and he can just say, well, I'm just writing to my lawyer. He hasn't addressed it yet. He hasn't put it in an envelope yet to send it to anybody, right? But let's say the inmate is plotting to kill somebody. And you can't charge him? It doesn't matter what the crime is. If the standard's going to be that a judge will not allow a communication for a crime because it's addressed to a lawyer, or he's claiming that he's sending it to a lawyer because it hadn't even been sent yet, that's serious. Because anybody can plot crimes. Just because you send it to a lawyer and then the lawyer sends it off to somebody else, like here's the plot for murder for hire that, my inmate, you know what I'm saying? Why is it that you have an inmate writing criminal actions to a lawyer and they're not prosecuting the lawyer? They're not investigating the lawyer. Because lawyers are bound by law that they can't hide the crimes. If a client tells his lawyer, tries to solicit him to a crime, he's not allowed to hide that, right? It's just insanity. It's just insanity. This judge, okay? But anyways, as it says, that they're saying that he has a significant history of violence, okay? And here's what really gets me, is that it's almost like, because the majority of his victims are minorities that were trafficked from other countries, he should get special treatment, and we're just kind of going to minimize the seriousness of this because, well, those people are minorities. They don't really matter, So, sure, yeah, they were victims, and, but, they're minorities. They don't really matter. The majority of the trafficked, I've read the actual accusations from this case. I actually read the indictment, okay? And I believe I shared that on my YouTube channel already. The majority of the victims were trafficked from other countries, okay? And it doesn't list all the victims, but there was a lot of staff members who were victim as well. It's just horrendous that you can I'm just concerned. I'm just very concerned to see lawyers asking for something like this. Now, it does say that it appears that the judge rejected the idea of house arrest, but but he did tell him to get rid of their copies of handwritten notes taken by this guy in jail, making the decision as he considers legal arguments from his lawyers that the notes were subject to attorney-client privilege and counter-arguments for prosecutors who accused him of writing about a witness tampering plot. Not even allowed to possess them. They're literally evidence of crimes while he's in jail because he's saying they're notes that was written to his attorney. They weren't even mailed yet. But because he said that they were handwritten notes to his attorney. I'm sorry, you're giving permission to inmates across the United States of America, because this is a federal judge, by the way, and this is case precedent. So if he's giving permission for inmates to literally write criminal plots because an inmate alleges it's going to an attorney, and that's protected conversation, there is attorney-client privilege, but not when it involves crimes. So if they stumbled across something that wasn't like it was an envelope, that was from his attorney or had been stamped and written to his lawyer and sent to his lawyer. They were just handwritten notes that he says were for his lawyers. He's writing handwritten notes. They're not in a sealed envelope or addressed to anyone. They're just notes that he says are for his lawyer. And they were notes that were for crimes. And this judge has protected them. And so you have lawyers who are asking for things that has never before been asked for. And I'm telling you now, when lawyers ask judges for something that is so ridiculous, that's a sign, that's a big red flag that they look at this judge. I think a judge should have been insulted for these lawyers to even ask for such a thing, for him to be put up in an apartment and take jail staff and put it there to do his jail time at a fancy apartment. Okay, for them to expect or even think that a judge would go along with something that has never been granted before tells you that they're pushing the limits with a judge that they believe is corrupt. That's what it says to me. I'm can you imagine? This guy has trafficked for decades women. That's the allegations. Innocent until proven guilty, but still. It's just horrendous. And I'm telling you now, the feds would have never they would have never filed this case. The amount of evidence, if you read the indictment that they claim they have, there's no way these federal prosecutors and these would have filed these charges, but they have a strong case based on evidence. Okay? There's just no way. Okay? These aren't county attorneys. These are federal prosecutors. And anyways, I'm very concerned about this judge. Very concerned about this judge. And I think his family calling all of these allegations a lie, I hope and pray that the victims come forward and sue his family for defamation. Because at some point or another, when this trial happens, the victims' names are going to be released. And before they're even released, he has campaigned with his family to attack the victims and call them liars and start a hate train against the victims because of his celebrity status. It's disgusting. I know, it's so degrading. Literally, this is what his attorney said. It's degrading for him to have to wear shackles in court. What person accused of sex trafficking has never worn shackles in court? Not trial. Won't happen during trial. They're just asking, repeatedly demanding special treatment for this guy. He's already got servants in jail, basically hand carrying his tray into his little jail cell there. He doesn't even have to get up off his bunk while he's writing his criminal plots on his handwritten notes that's protected. Oh my gosh. And the victims are already under attack by him and his family. I hope and pray they sue. I hope and pray they sue his family for dare accusing them of lying. And just all of this is lies. All of this is lies. They're not just attacking the feds who are prosecuting him. They're attacking the victims. And I think it's disgusting.